Hey guys, welcome to a recap of Big Brother season 25, episode 8. And guys, I have to call this episode Karma is served by the Bye Bye Bees because they're getting revenge this whole episode. They are plotting a whole plot, and Haisam has not a clue, honey. Haisam is in the dark. Haisam, he really did let the power get into his head because initially I did not have him on my radar, but once immediately that Siri told Haisam that there is an alliance that is coming after the older folks. All of a sudden, Haisam just went berserk and he went on a power trip to really check these handfuls, okay? So, of course, this hasn't gone unnoticed. He ruffled some feathers. The way our girl Riley went out, it was so sad and unfortunate. And we kind of got to see a little behind the scenes of that, where everyone was sitting together and deciding what to do, how to get all the votes to help save Riley. And Riley had to toss in that towel. Honey, I would not have tossed that towel for nobody. I would have gone down with a whole fight, at least a shebang, something. But they all decided no, it would be best to just all vote with the house. And Riley was out the house, and Hyson was being fake and phony, even though he said he's playing a loyal game. He was being fake and phony, giving Miss Riley a hug, saying, "Oh, you should be so proud of yourself. Like, honey, you sent me home." That's the last person I want a hug from. So, guys, I did not expect this to take a turn, but Cameron is really bothered about this. Cameron is really bothered with Hisam and his power trip. Hisam, the power went through his head, and Cameron feels like he's tired for his reaction, how he carries himself in the house. So Cameron wants to be the one to send him home, and he will make sure to do everything possible that his vote is going towards Hisam. Now, this doesn't come without our girl Siri plotting and planning on what to do next. Siri, she's been hiding in the dark the past few episodes, but I feel like in this episode you really see her master manipulate the whole house to kind of sway them how to make decisions. And I feel like at least she does it with a little bit better touch than Hisam. She makes the person feel like, this is their decision and not her influencing their decision, whereas Hisam gathered around everybody to really push them to vote a certain way. And Izzy is catching waves of that, and Izzy is not feeling that too as well. So remember, Izzy and Siri, they are in an alliance together. And this is partly because, Izzy knows who Jared and Siri are to each other. So she naturally finds herself to be in alliance with them. But she's being a team player, and she's making it very clear, saying that, she wants to win HOH so that she could send Hisam home. And I'm like, sweetie, easy. I'm waiting for you to have your moment to shine. But girl, stop. Please stop. But this episode, Izzy did shock me. She did pleasantly shock me, but she is under the same page to get Hisam out. And the way they want to do this is by backdooring Hisam. Now, while this all is going down and everyone is plotting, and Hisam is chilling and Cameron is going through his emotions, all upset about Hisam's power trip, we have, our cutie patootie Matt. Cutie patootie Matt, he made me feel for him because he was just going through the emotions. He was sad that his best girlie, Miss Riley's out the house. That was his little crush. And he really did trust her in the house, and he felt like she had his back 100%. And it was sad that she had to leave the house. So, of course, her bae don't want to just let it slide, honey. He wants to avenge Riley. And I'm here for it because I say, fight for your woman. I mean, let's get a showmance going on. That showmance was so short-lived, but we will get another showmance a little later. But Matt is all about winning, and he's keeping his game face on to Hisam. He's keeping a low profile. He's just being the sad, I can't compete, I'm an emotional crush person act. And I get it, I see it. And I did appreciate, we did get to see a little bit more of Matt this time. And I think it's a good thing that Riley left the house, honestly, because I feel like Riley and Matt, they were like tight. So he didn't really necessarily open up to other people in the house. He says is that, he's kind of shy because, he takes his time. It's easier for him to get to know people one to one and not in groups. But I like that, in this episode, we see Matt have a conversation uh with Siri and Izzy, and he opens up about his disability and shares that, everyone had this misconception of him, that he is stuck up. And, ladies, of course, they say, no, not at all. And I didn't get that from him at all either. But he kind of explains immediately. And I think this is what naturally happens to everyone when they have some sense of insecurity about something about themselves, that it's really only them in their head feeling this way and everyone else has not a clue about it. Because no one took Matt from being a stuck-up guy. I thought he was rather sweet because, he was so, to himself, quiet. They really had to engage with him. I never got, kind of anger or anything from him. So it was nice that he was reassured by the ladies, and they gave him nothing but praises, and he started to open up a little bit more. And, it was a teachable moment, not only for the ladies, but for us as viewers, for those in the deaf community. What we learn is that, it's very important, like, to have one-to-one communication, because in group settings it could be quite difficult to really understand what is going on and to process a whole conversation. So I just appreciate that Matt had his moment to shine in this episode. Our cutie patootie, I don't even see him, I don't think we even focus on him being deaf. We see him as the fantasy. He's giving abs, okay? He was serving, and we're here for Matt. We support Matt. We are fans of Matt. But guys, let's get into this whole HOH situation, okay? Now, Haisam has a plan, and Haisam's plan is that the next person that needs to be out of the house is actually Jag. And I'm like, Jag? Why Jag? What Jag got to do with this? And pretty much his rationale is that Jag was close with Riley. So it's the second tier of that handful alliance, where if we get rid of Jag, that whole alliance will crumble pretty much. So we view Jag as the brains of the operation. So I'm like, okay, who are we gonna put next to Jag? And he has his list of who else to include. But let's get into the head of HOH competition, head of household competition. So this competition is based on the Humillaverse, and I don't know if I like the Humillaverse because I feel like no one's a real winner. I feel like if you win, you still lose. Okay, so in this competition for Humillaverse, the contestants have to play putt-putt essentially. So I'm like, okay, how are they gonna come up with this strategy? Because everyone is hyped. Everyone's like, we need to come up with strategy. We need to get a win. We need this win. The handfuls, they feel like they need a win, honey. They feel like they know they need a win. Okay, so of course, since Haisam was already head of HOH, he cannot participate in the Humillaverse. So everyone else gets to play putt-putt, and the goal is to hit the ball with your putt-putt, and it goes through obstacles, and it lands on numbers that are low, numbers that are high, numbers in between, and they're all in their slots. So wherever your ball lands, that's your score. So you want to do well, because the bottom two will be part of the have-nots, and no one wants to be a have-not. Definitely not me. So everyone, is pretty excited to play. Some wants to win, some wants to lose. But definitely Haitham is rooting for the professors to win. Little does he know that the professors, Siri, Izzy, and everybody else, they're planning to win, to backdoor Haitham. So everyone is going. We see our cutie patootie Matt. He takes his shot, and he doesn't do the best. I'm like, honey, you're supposed to be doing this for your baby. Maybe you could avenge her some other way, but this wasn't it for you. Not this time. Now, Izzy No, Siri, she does pretty good. She surprised me. She gets a really good score, but she didn't necessarily want to win. She didn't want to have that power in her hand to get her hands dirty. Siri, she plays it smart. Izzy, she gets a high score too as well. And I'm like, finally, Izzy, you coming through with your words, you showing up. But little did we know who had this in the bag for real was Miss Valicia. Valicia, she won that. She did that. She got a score that was outrageously high. It was 53. Ain't no way anybody else coming after her touching her score, okay? So the others, they saw that it was a wrap, and Miss Felicia, she was super happy, proud of herself. She's like super happy to prove that she can't be counted out. Everyone count out the older people in the Big Brother's house, but she showcased and proved that she's not the one to mess with. Like she could be a threat if she wants to, honey. So I was super proud of her. And she becomes the head of HOH. And Siri, Easy, Heisem is super excited about it. And you see the youngings, they're like so upset because they're like, wow, another loss. But Felicia winning this head of HOH, she also wins the prize of being snotted on, which means she has to stand under the nose in the Humiliverse outside and have snot just go on top of her. And this is not to stop at all. This continues to go on and on and on and on. But I love that she picked people who could not have their hair ruined, because Red was not picked. Mimi was not picked. Miss Siri was not picked. Their hair stayed dry from the slime, okay? So I love the solidarity for the people with cute hair, okay? Because I can't imagine Red with some gook in his hair. That's gonna take forever and a day to get that off, okay? So I love that moment, and I appreciate that moment. And Felicia, she's feeling this win. And we see Izzy and Siri have a talk to what should go down, and they're gonna bring in Felicia to see if she's down for that, because she's not really onto the plan. So they put that plan on her, but she, how she received it, she didn't necessarily was overjoyed by that. It's a lot of responsibility. She's the one that's gonna get her hands dirty, and she's been noticing a pattern. Whoever's head of HOH is the one that ends up leaving the next time around. So she doesn't want to repeat that, and she definitely want to break that curse. If I was her, I would take that into serious consideration. So she hears out the ladies, and the way the ladies talk to her, though, they're still respectful for her and give her autonomy of her decision of what she wants to do to move forward. But Siri and Easy are heavily influencing that. They put up people that don't look suspicious, but the goal is to backdoor Heisem. Now, honey, Heisem got to add his 2 cents. So Heisem pulls Miss Felicia to the side. And I'm not looking forward to this whole moment whatsoever, because I feel like the way Heisem was talking to Felicia, it feels like she was not the head of HOH. It was like he was acting as a surrogate as the HOH. And I'm like, sir, this is not your turn. This is not your moment. It's Miss Felicia moment, okay? So, Felicia, she wanted to get out her points, but she was immediately interrupted by Heisem, who suggested that Jag and possibly Matt be put in for eviction. And I'm like, sir, you didn't even hear out Miss Felicia. Now, Miss Felicia, she doesn't put all her cards out on the table, honey. She says she's thinking about it. She's listening to what everyone got to say, and she'll take that into consideration, which I respect. But honey, I don't know. So I have to mention that Heisem did bring up Cameron. No, did he bring up Cameron? I don't think he brought up Cameron. But Felicia has a talk with Cameron. I feel like, yeah, from Siri and Izzy, that conversation, that Cameron goes in as a pawn. And Felicia has to break the news to Cameron that he is going to be a pawn in this whole situation. That sucks. I do not want to be a pawn in Big Brother. Pawns do go home. And of course, Jag, he's brought into this plan too, and they all are pretty much aware that they want to backdoor Heisem. But Jag doesn't want to even be a part of this whole plan at all, because he sees it as this. Heisem is not prevented in participating in the veto competition. But the way Jack is reassured by the ladies of how this is gonna go down is that, they are having Heisem under the impression that everything is smooth sailing, no worries, that he is safe. Therefore, he won't compete as hard in the veto competition. But come on, guys. I think no matter what, I feel like Heisem always gonna want that extra peace of mind, and he's always gonna compete. Now he did say that he doesn't want to create a threat on him because he wins everything. I understand that. But I wonder how it's gonna go down because it's on tonight, so we're gonna see how he plays. But y'all, I want to know what you guys think. Felicia, she before she says who's up for eviction, she gets slimed one more time, and then I live for it, and then she was done. So she puts up Jag and Cameron as, the bye-bye bitches agreed on, okay? Of course, Cameron, he's game ready. I mean, he was game ready since the episode started. Jag, you seem a little bit nervous. I would be nervous too, honestly, if I was him. But y'all, I can't wait for this next veto competition to see where everything lands, because I don't know how successful the ladies will be in backdooring High Sum. I don't know, but I know this is gonna unveil a whole bunch of drama, a whole bunch of I wish we didn't do that. It's pretty much a Pandora's box. Okay, so I'm excited for that. But at least, even though in this episode, Matt was going through heartbreak, we get to see a new showmance develop, and that is with Miss Blue and Jared. Now, Jared was not much around in this episode, but for the time he was around, he was flirting the doing the most with Miss Blue, and Miss Blue was flirting back. And I'm like, okay. I wonder what Miss Siri thinks about this, honey, because but y'all, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments down below. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate every one of you for taking the time to watching my recaps. And as always, we'll follow up with this. Share as much kindness as possible, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.